You're never gonna not be an idiot, so don't worry about feeling like one too.
True. What's up, everyone? Welcome to Mikey's Boardroom.
I'm Mikey.
And tonight we are recording a review for Obsession. Obsession is a game for 1 to 5 players, I think, with the expansion. I think it's 1 to 5, might be 1 to 6. I think it's 1 to 5, though. But it's a game where you're playing...
What a weird number, though.
Well,
Stop at 5.
No, 1 to 5 is pretty normal.
Is it?
Yeah, I think so.
That's like somebody's the odd one out, then.
I think it's 1 to 5, because it started as 1 to 4, and then they added a 5th player expansion. Weird. I don't think there was a 6th player. Like, I don't think it works at 6. But anyways, okay. That's not important. Not that important, anyway. In this game, you play as old English families that are sort of getting they lost their money and they're getting some money back, and they're trying to build their reputation in the community and host events and upgrade their manor and invite prestigious guests over to get rewards and, like I said, increase your reputation in Derbyshire.
I can't see that in your eye. It makes my eyes hurt.
So that's a basic gist of what you're doing. If you want to see better rules, check out our playthrough. We go over a lot more detail on how to play. But we're going to talk about what we liked, what we didn't like, and also just anything else we want to say. And then we'll score it 1 through 5, and then we'll get you on your merry way.
Okay.
So let's talk about things we liked first. Or anything you want to say about the game in general before we dive into pros and cons.
It's always better when you start.
Okay, that is true. I'll go first then. Allow me.
Okay.
The obvious one for me is that the theme is great.
Okay.
The theme is implemented so well that it feels like integral to the game.
I agree. I like the theme a lot.
The theme is really, really cool and really good. And really, really well implemented, like I said. Yeah. And just in every aspect of the game, every rule, there's something that makes sense about that rule, and there's a reason that rule exists. And in the rule book, it explains, like, thematic element, and it explains why. So, like, I don't know like the cook. I'll just go over the cook as a quick example. The cook basically allows you to increase or to invite guests that are above your social rank. You usually have to up your social rank to match what their social rank is. Cook lets you invite guests that are above you in the society, because the thematic element is that, you know, if you have a really good cook, the prestigious guests are going to want to come to your house just to try the food from the cook.
Okay. I definitely would.
Yeah.
Please. Yeah. Please and thank you. Give me a good cook.
Exactly.
You could be a good cook if you tried.
If I tried, I could be good at everything. So your point is null. So yeah, I really like the theme. Done really well.
Okay.
Anything you want to add?
I agree. I like the theme. I think they nailed it too. I don't really think it's lacking.
Yeah, it's got a lot of stuff going on and the horse.
Yeah, they nailed the theme for sure. Even their little meeples are cute, and I don't usually care about meeples.
Yeah, the little mayor.
They're very cute. The mayor.
The butler has like a little tray thing, and the cook has a spoon. Mm-hmm. Yeah. The next thing I really like is that the quality is really good. It kind of goes hand in hand with the meeples. All the tiles feel really nice. The cards all feel really nice. The board feels nice. I guess these are fine. There's nothing wrong with these. Metal would be cool, but I don't spend up for that. So the cards are all really nice. The quality of the game is actually really.
I like it. Yeah, everything feels really nice. It doesn't feel cheaply made. I also like that in this game it feels like there's an abundance of things, which is nice. I never feel like I'm scraping me like, well, crap.
I agree. You're never looking, like you always have a, let me try this again. You're always stuck trying to decide what to do between a bunch of different things, rather than stuck trying to figure out what you're going to do out of nothing kind of thing. Like there's always, like you said, an abundance of
things. But that does lead into one of my cons, but we can finish the pros first.
Let's finish the pros.
I was just saying that is connected to a con.
We have a very specific flow, okay? A very specific flow.
No, we don't.
We have a formula. What are you going off script for? Okay, my next pro is that, speaking of everything that's going on, I like each element. I like inviting the guests, going through going through and looking at the bonuses, looking at the servants, going through the servants. I guess my point is, like, I like the strategy. Mm-hmm. I like there's a lot of strategic elements in this game, between like hosting the activities and inviting guests, you have to make sure you have the servants available for that. And if you only have one of those servants, you have to decide maybe like which guest, if you need a purple but you only have one purple, which purple guest would be best in your current situation.
Yeah.
Like I said, the same thing with the tiles, trying to decide which event you're going to host when you're, especially later game when you start getting a lot of things you can do. I just like the strategy of trying to figure out what would be best to get the most points for your objective cards and for like the VP available on the cards and on the tiles. I don't know. It just I like this. Like there's a lot of strategic elements in the game. It's not all just fluff and.
Yeah, it is very strategic with the expansions.
Yes.
I'd say prior to the expansions, there was a little bit of strategy.
I agree with that completely. I'll talk about that more as well.
But yes, there's a lot of strategy.
Yeah, of the courtship as well.
Which leads into a con.
The courtship also adds strategy, and that's not in the expansion.
Okay, yeah, the courtship.
But the courtship's fun too. It gives you a reason to try and get tiles, and kind of gives you a reason to interact with other people, trying to like take that colored tile before they get it. If you need to like win with the courtship round.
Yeah.
Another thing actually I really like about talking about the strategic elements is with the new servants. I like deciding how I'm going to use their special abilities and when I want to use them. To get one thing versus the other with because they can do multiple different things, so like that adds yet another thing to strategize about and help you do things, which kind of goes into what you were saying about the expansion adds a lot of the strategy. The expansion adds a lot of the strategy. Yeah,
it does.
I also. Well, do you have anything else you want to say?
Positive.
I have one more one more pro that I want to say. One more pro that I want to say.
I don't think so.
I like that it's not overly complicated. There's a lot going on, but it feels like it's a game that you can play with people who maybe are not gamers or whatever, but people that you can play, like somebody who likes board games but doesn't like it this much or as much as some people, who maybe not play heavier.
You having trouble?
All I'm trying to say is that I think you can play this with people who don't play overly complex or heavy games. Am I wrong in that?
This goes into one of my cons.
Okay, bring it on, because let's go right into the cons then.
I'd say prior to the expansion, yes. 100% yes. This is a game that, like, not hard gamers would enjoy. Like, just, they like to play casually.
Okay.
Totally. 100%. There's just too much going on with the expansion. Okay. Just way too much to where it takes away the fun of it. And it's almost like prior to the expansion, I was initially bummed. I was like, man, this game is too short. There's so much left to do. Like, I had so many other things I wanted to accomplish. Okay. And now it's like by halfway through the game, I'm like, man, this is really tiresome and I'm ready for this to end.
That's so interesting because I felt the opposite. And actually one of my cons is that I didn't like the game before the expansion. And I didn't like that I only really started liking it after the expansion, because I think a game should be fun, on its own, and then the expansion should make it better. And I really don't like it when a game is only better when the expansion's added in, because it makes it expensive. Like, this was an expensive game. Yeah. I got everything and it was over $100. Yeah. And I'm like, I probably wouldn't have paid that for this game had I, like, now looking at it, I probably wouldn't have paid over $100 for this game. Not that it's not, like, it's fun, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's fun.
But I see what you're saying. I enjoy it. I really like it with the expansion.
It's so much, your brain likes this
It's
stuff.
worth the money. It's just not worth that much money. Like, it's not a game that is worth that much money, in my opinion. I would rather have no linen on the cards, no linen on anything, just like maybe a worse material and a cheaper game with all of it included rather than expansions and all that.
I honestly would not play this again if it was the expansion. It's just too much.
With the expansion, I feel like I wouldn't play it without, because it was just.
I see where you're coming from with that too, though, because it was very much like fluff.
It was like very it didn't feel like.
That's kind of what I go for at the end. When I'm tired, at the end of the day, I don't want something that I'm making my brain feel like mush for, like oatmeal, and so it's just a soft, fun game I could play while watching TV.
That is true.
Music on.
That's true. It's fine for that.
Yeah.
But
I could play it with a friend. It would be easy.
Yeah. Without
this is this is just too much. There's just so much going on.
Agree to disagree. I guess it just depends how you like games or whatever.
You like making your brain feel like mush. It's a challenge to you. Whereas
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm challenged all day long by 3 children. I don't need to be challenged by a stupid game.
And by your, like the brain you were given.
Yeah. Well, I'm challenged with that in different ways.
That's your greatest challenge.
I like to read for that kind of mush. I don't like to do this for that kind of mush.
Yeah. I like to.
And you don't like to read. Two different brains.
I can hardly read, I think is what you meant to say. Okay, well that is fair, I guess. I completely see your point of view. I
see yours.
I completely disagree, but I like how they're both negatives.
Yeah. Just 2 different kind of people.
I don't like how it's only fun after the expansion. You didn't like it after the expansion. Okay.
But I see your point of view just like you see mine.
Oh,
so it's interesting.
and I see yours. I'll give you a pat. Give me a pat on the back. Oh, yes, let's pat each other's back.
It just means we're both right was my point.
Okay.
It just depends on the type of person
yes,
you
but
are.
one of us is more right than the other.
The woman.
Okay, another con for me is that the theme is implemented so well, like I said, but it's integral to enjoying the game, I think. I don't think if you like this theme, you will enjoy the game because
if you don't like this
if
theme.
you don't like the theme, I don't think you'll enjoy what did I say?
You said if you like this theme.
If you don't like the theme, I don't think you will really enjoy the game because it's not the best deck builder. It's not the best worker placement.
Yeah, you can't deck build.
It's not the best
not
like your estate. I guess that would be like tableau building maybe or set collection even kind of, but it's not the best of any of it. Like it's all good, but it doesn't do any of it like extremely well. And like a lot of the enjoyment for me is the theme, and it's like I'm gonna host this event and invite these people. I like reading the little every card has little blurbs about the person. Like I like reading that. I like getting into it that way.
Because it was definitely more fun when we put on like the Bridgerton soundtrack.
Yeah, and we like got into it. And I would
totally got into it.
like that's what was the fun of it. It wasn't necessarily the game that was super fun. It was just
I had more fun hanging out playing the game than playing the game.
So that's another reason that I think it would be, I guess without the expansion, but it would be a good game to play with just like more casually.
Yeah, for sure.
I guess without I could play the expansion casually. It didn't strike me as too much to do.
It just got so boring that I just kind of like stopped caring, and I was like, I guess I'll do this. Like I still put in effort, but I like the half effort.
Fair enough. But either way, like if you don't like this theme or this theme is not exciting to you at all, then I don't think you should go out and get this game thinking it's gonna be fun anyways.
Yeah, but your girlfriend might like it without the expansion.
Yeah, true. Do you have any other cons? I think I have one more. Yeah, I've just one more.
What's one more?
One more con.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's one more?
I wish there was more player interaction. I feel like a lot of the interaction is like there is some interaction. Like you can take somebody's servant. You can steal reputation from somebody, and the thematic element is you're spreading rumors about them in Derbyshire. So like there is some player interaction, and like the community tile market, you try to buy and beat them in the courtship round. So as I'm saying this, it kind of sounds like a lot of interaction, but when I'm playing it, it doesn't feel like there's any interaction. The only interaction is like is reading the cards with each other, and like I said, just being stupid and
or like if you buy the card I wanted.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't feel like there's a ton of player interaction.
Courtship feels like it.
Courtship sort of feels like it the most, and that's about it.
Yeah.
So I wish there was I don't know how they could do it.
You can because we can steal servants from each other.
Like I said, you can do
why
stuff.
Why are you gonna waste a turn on that? Like
but
it just doesn't make sense.
During the play, like during the what am I trying to say? While you're playing it, while you're playing the game, it doesn't feel like there's a lot of interaction other than reading the cards with each other. Like I know there's some elements.
And even then, I'm not interacting with you. You're having your own fun over there reading
cards. I could be playing this by myself.
Over here.
You'd see me in the corner.
Yes. That's exactly what you do.
Turtle.
Are you a Pokemon now?
Turtle. Yeah, so I don't know how they do it, but I thought that it would be cool, like, if you could invite other people to your events, and there'd be, like, different bonuses to your events, and there'd be different bonuses. That was something I thought maybe could make player interaction. Maybe there's, like, a shared guest deck that we can draw from.
That would be fun.
Where we're both trying to, like, invite certain people to our parties and not their parties, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Those are the only two I could come up with, but just something like that where there's something else where it's like, I'm going to, if I could be like, I'm going to invite, you to my party, and then I'm able to get this, other bonus.
Yeah.
And you're actually able to get a bonus for coming to my party. That way it kind of helps both of us, but I don't know. I'm not a game maker. I'm just a game player. I just wish there was.
Complainer.
I just feel like in this theme, there was so much whispering about just so much conniving about other families that there's none of that really in this game. Or there's no making alliances with other families like there was back in the real time, or how you think of it anyway.
I agree. You're babbling now, but I agree with what you have to say.
Let's move on then. All right. Do you have anything else you want to say before we move on to just?
I don't think so. I think we covered it all. It's a pretty simple game, just with a lot of thought.
If you say so. Okay, I have a couple other thoughts. These are not cons or pros, even though a couple might
you
sound
just
like
like hearing the sound of your voice?
Yes,
okay.
Exactly. I'm not going to say that one. The first other thought is that the rule books are a pain. They were a pain to me.
That's not something I experienced.
They were not an easy read. And what was really weird about it is, like I said, it's so thematic that every single rule made sense and every single rule had a reason. But the rule book is just, I don't know, it just was a pain for me to read through. It was
because you don't like to read.
That is part of it.
It was like
but
a book.
There's also for all of this, there's one big rule book, a second rule book for the expansion, and then there's a little pamphlet rule book, and then a little piece of paper that has all these bonus card effects that you I don't know. It's just the rule book was not fun to read, and it was a pain. And so that was the second. If you can't stand rule books, and you're already kind of thinking on this game, maybe. Another thing is that the setup's a pain. You have all these tiles, and it's just I just didn't like setting it up every time. I got it down. I got a system. I know where I put everything specifically and that, so it makes it quick. But setup was a pain. Mm-hmm. You don't have to know about that or the rules. No. You're welcome.
Thank you. I've heard you complain and whine about it though.
And then the other thing is that the storage. This is a half pro, half con.
I love the storage.
The storage was amazing. Mm-hmm. Everything has a little box, and every house has a little box you can put their house in. It says House of York and everything. It's just amazing. The con for me is that with everything, there's not enough space to fit all the bits. So I have to keep the other expansion box, and I have to put them in because we only need enough for 2 players usually. So I throw everything else that we don't need for that in those boxes because it wouldn't fit. The box wouldn't close if I tried to put it in anything. So I don't it's amazingly organized. Mm-hmm. But if it wasn't so organized, if I just tossed all the inner stuff, I could fit everything. And so just keep that in mind. Am I rambling still?
Yes, you are. I'm spacing out the whole time.
Okay, nothing of that matters then. It's just me. Okay. Let's move into final scores.
Okay.
So, quick overview of our rating, because I know you've probably forgotten it.
Yes.
A 1 is a... No, let's start...
Bad game.
You bad. You bad.
She bad.
Let's start at 5. A 5 is the best game ever. I will play it anytime, ever. I always want to play it, and if you don't like it, I don't care. We're gonna play it. We're gonna play it anyway.
It means it'll get lost.
No, it means that I will go out and buy it as soon as it does. So you know better. Okay, a 4 is a game that I really, really like. I want to keep it. I want to keep playing it. If you hated it, I may or may not be able to let it go.
Okay.
But a 4 is a game I want to keep, and I will be very upset if you don't want to play it. But I wouldn't necessarily make you play it. It's a very personal rating system, by the way. It all depends on whether I'll make you play something. Yeah. A 3 is a game that is good. It may be a game I want to keep. It may be a game that I don't want to keep. Mm-hmm. There's nothing wrong with it.
But if I don't like it, you'd be willing to not play it.
If you don't like it, I would not even think twice. Like Renature. Renature is a 3 for me. I like it. I would play it. If you liked it, I play it all the time. Okay. But you don't like it.
Okay, you're rambling. Keep going.
A 2 is a game that I don't like. I don't want to play. It's just, there's nothing wrong with the game. It's just that it's not for me. Okay. It's not a game I want to play. Okay. And a 1 is a bad game. It's a bad game. Okay. You bad. Okay, so what would you give this game?
You go first.
All right, I would give this game a 3.
Okay.
I like it. Well, I just went through the whole rating system. I don't need to repeat it. It's a 3 for me. It's a 3. I like it. I would keep playing it.
Okay.
I also would be fine not playing it.
Okay, here's my thing. I have 2 different ratings for this one.
Oh, the good thing it's not complicated.
Okay, my rating with the expansion is a 2.
Okay.
Without the expansion, it's a 3.
Okay.
That's how I feel about it.
Okay. So that's actually good then, because this game is not super expensive then. If you don't get the expansions with it.
Yeah, I would be fine never touching this game again, though.
Okay.
I could easily forget about it.
The only reason I would think about keeping this game, other than if you really liked it, would be just to like have a game that's this like detailed and thematic for people to play with. Because like we do have some friends.
Yeah.
And
there's a couple.
There's people that we know, and like they've mentioned liking board games, and so
there actually is quite a few people now who are like, crap, we got people.
So this could be something that I'd be like, let's just hold on to this. Maybe get out the cut out the expansion, but let's hold on to this just to play.
That's true.
Potentially with somebody who might like board games, but doesn't want to play, Bard Song.
It's a good point. Good point there.
So that's the only reason I would keep it. Other than that, I'd be fine.
I would keep
I enjoyed my playing it. I have no regrets playing it or learning it, but.
I would keep this. Yes, I was. I would keep this to play like before a new season of Bridgerton or a new Downton Abbey movie, which we have yet to see.
Or re-binging it.
Or re-binging it, exactly. Yeah, I would totally do it for like those specific moments in my life where I'm just like I want to get immersed.
Yeah.
In that time
That's
period.
like I said. The totally theme. Why will I keep this game? Because the theme is so like
that's probably
done
it for me
so
too.
well. So,
they nailed it.
Like I said, if you don't like the theme, you're not gonna like the game. But anyways.
But yeah, I feel like I could get more enjoyment from a different game.
Yeah.
So I probably would not pick this, except for those moments in my life.
I would hardly pull this off the shelf over Dune.
Yeah, 100%. Dune, you want to play Dune?
Yeah, let's go play Dune.
Let's go play Dune.
We're going to go play Dune. Thanks for stopping in. Check out our other videos. Like, comment, subscribe, show kindness, and fly on a bird's wing.
Oh, no.